Jeff, I'm here.
Hey, have you seen
I'm
Jeff
here.
anywhere?
I'm here.
They're lagging. People are lagging. This
Woo!
game
Hey everybody! Whoa! All right, welcome everyone to this week's news and updates. I'm Laurel.
And I'm Donna, the other host here at News Updates. Now, Mark, our esteemed producer and the generous spirit behind this weekly AltSpace VR news show, he's behind the camera bot live streaming to everyone out in the metaverse and beyond. Now, we have some exciting news for you from AltSpace VR Metaverse, so let's get on with it.
Yes, indeed. So, some cities, states, and countries are starting to emerge from self-isolation, and others are still hunkering down or just realizing they're late to the game and starting recently to go into self-isolation. Either way, we have a new awareness and a new standard for socialization and work.
Now, AltSpace VR has a larger and still growing community. Have you taken time to meet any of the new folks in our neighborhood? Please take time to do so. If you're a community helper, hang out more often in the info zone to welcome new people and introduce them to our community. If you aren't a community helper, meet people in the campfire, hang out there in featured hubs to encourage others to come and hang out as well. Now take people, and you guys, one of the funnest things is to teach them how to fly or introduce them to some of your favorite worlds. We are a welcoming community, and we need to show the new people the ropes. And honestly, that's one of the feedbacks that I get the most every single time I ask somebody who's been in AltSpace for 24 or 48 hours what the best thing so far has been. The answer 98% of the time is everybody is so friendly. I love that.
It is beautiful. And have parties for no reason or for a reason. Throw a birthday party, be glad to be alive party, whatever kind of party you want, just throw it and meet people from all around the world that are struggling just like you. Be helpful at this time of crisis, and you will likely get more out of these acts of social charity than you could ever imagine.
Absolutely. Now, along that line, our helpful people, the community helpers, are working overtime to ensure that the info zone is staffed and people are getting the help they need in world and on AltSpace VR official support Discord. Many newcomers mistake community helpers as having more authority than just being helpful, long-time experienced users. Community helpers help in the info zone, but have no special powers anywhere in AltSpace VR except for their experience, and their experiences out in the real world. Please explain that if people are interested in becoming a community helper. The requirements right now are subject to change. Now they are that you must be a member for at least active member for at least 3 months, host 3 public events, and moderate 5 events.
Then take time to explain to people who want to become a community helper that their responsibilities as stated in the community helper program are: follow and champion AltSpace VR community guidelines, help teach others how to use AltSpace by answering questions and about AltSpace VR in world, as well as on the Discord channels dedicated to feedback and discussion. Staff the info zone for a few hours a week. How many community helpers are doing that? Be available in the campfire to help and participate in the community by attending community helper meetups and to host events and to build worlds and create things with the MRE and the SDK and so on and so forth. And number 9 is to help champion and promote AltSpace VR in a positive, mature, and professional way in all your interactions online, in world, and in real life.
And guys, this last part is really, really important. Becoming a community helper is not about achieving a level in the community. It's all about being an active and respected member of the community. It is about the heart of service. It's about respecting others. It's about being respectful and being a leader in all your interactions online, inside AltSpace VR, and in real life. Community helpers in AltSpace VR work really hard to promote community events, activities, and programs. They help teach and mentor others. They work hard to ensure that AltSpace VR is a healthy, supportive, peaceful, and inclusive community. We love that. We all do, community helpers or not. We love that our community is giving back, and it's one of our greatest gifts, right, that we can give back.
It is. Oh, I love it. So if you're considering becoming a community helper, we have some suggestions for you. First, talk to the hosts of the AltSpace VR 101 tutorial event. They are longtime community helpers and active experienced members of the community, and they are eager to work with you to provide you moderation and presentation training and experience. Start there. They'll introduce you to how this all works. Then join an event community, be it the LGBTQ plus and friends, rooftop center stage, improv night, or even the Wednesday World Tour Showcase, whatever it is. And get involved with those different groups. Ask how you can help. Be a moderator. Help to promote the event. Whatever they need, ask and do, and learn as you go.
Now, create your own events and activities. Open up Insta events to watch videos, play games, or just hang out. And there's so many people looking for things to do. It's not going to be hard to find people who want to join you. Learn how to moderate and host by doing. Most of all, talk to community helpers. Let those green badges be an invitation to ask questions and find mentors to help you through the learning process and understand better how to be among the helpful people. And trust us, you will be rewarded here and in the real world for your leadership and generosity of spirit.
Yeah, we love our community helpers. All right. Now back to some basic news. AltSpace VR didn't have a major update this week, only a few little bug fixes and usability improvements as usual. Things behind the scenes, but we're starting to finally see improvements in the website, especially for searching worlds. Yeah, can't wait to have that.
One of these improvements is to the website interface for managing events, and it's called the Moderator Controls. It allows event hosts more clarity in the actions for ending an event early, setting it to draft instead of pending, and re-importing the world rather than sync, which honestly, even after doing setting up 40 or 60 events every month, I still have to think twice, what's sync and which one means what? So they gave us some clarity. English,
Yes.
is not my first. English and me aren't friends, and it is my first language. Although many might question that. So thanks to the team for working on the UI on the website as well as in world. This is really, really wonderful news, you guys.
I mean, honestly, how many people out there who've done events have accidentally hit the finish button as soon as you created the event? So it's like instinct. Well, I'm done filling out the form. Hit finished and bang, your event is gone. So I am thrilled that it now says end event instead of finish. So love that. Now, remember.
And you guys, can I just say one thing? It's
Uh-huh.
really important that you guys use that end event. If you set to be, especially if you think you're going to have a 2-hour event, and after about 90 minutes, there's nobody in the room and you decide to end the event and you want to leave this place, please use the end event feature, because that means that nobody can enter. And there should never be an event ever where you're the host and you leave the event empty. Okay, so that end event one is actually quite a critical thing. Thanks,
That's
Laura.
also, yeah, oh no, that's also the rules in Altspace, that no event should ever go empty of hosts and mods. So yeah, excellent point. All right, now, last week, Altspace VR added the ability to report events. And if you feel one is violating the community standards, make sure you report it right there, right in the event information, or maybe send a message of encouragement and support to the event hosts. They like getting good feedback as well. You know, sometimes it's hard to rely on just those emojis, so please give positive feedback as well. The reports are sent to the host and the moderation team, support team. So we hope these don't happen during the events, but we get a message right in front of you. But we love this feature.
Now, please remember, this is so important. If you are creating an event designed for adults, and we mean 18 or even 21, if there's going to be, if you're going to have content that is not accessible, you're going to have content, identify them as such. We want to ensure events are safe for users aged 13 to 100 or maybe more. And as a Yeah, exactly. And as a community, we work together to keep Altspace VR safe and inclusive. So it's really, really important if event is 18 plus, that it's clearly stated.
Yeah. Now, we want to continue to congratulate and celebrate with our LGBTQ plus and friends community as they get ready to celebrate their 3rd anniversary. I believe it's this coming up week. They're going to be hosting it's next. I've lost track of the calendar. May 6th, whenever May 6th is coming up. And even
Is this Tuesday, Laurel?
Amazing things in the metaverse to ensure safe and supportive space for everyone. Tag, play, stay. We're so proud of everything that they have done. So kudos to the whole team there, and congrats to all of our friends, and get ready for that party. It will be a big bash on May 6th. And am I the only one who's lost track of the days of the week lately?
I know. Every day is the same day, right? It's like Groundhog Day. We're living. The entire globe is living Groundhog Day, like over and over. And we just can't wait to get it right once. Right?
You're right.
Oh my goodness me. So as with all things news and updates from Altspace VR, we report on these in our news and updates Discord server. And we invite you to join if you haven't already, where you can keep up with all the news across our community and find the YouTube streaming and the saved video links.
Yes, indeed. Come join us. Now, time for a favorite subject, world building. As more and more people come into Altspace VR, they want to get their hands digging deeply into world building. So to get started, Andy Fidel with Get Social has taken over the world building tutorials that Kaylin started, and she's hosting world building tutorials every other week, and she's changing the days around to help those who are new to world building learn and discuss some of the basics. Daisy Shaw also offers world building workshops every other week, so check those out. If you are new to world building, look for someone with a green border around their name tag, designating them as a community helper, as we were just talking about. They're likely in the campfire, in the info zone, in and around, and ask them for world building help and advice. And visit help.altvr.com for documentation and information. And do a search on YouTube and across the web to look for many of the community-made videos and tutorial articles. And get the Altspace VR official Discord. Get into there and look in. There's a whole new section now on world building with a category of channels, and search for help there. Many people are asking the same questions over and over and over again, and we're answering over and over and over again, but start with a search. There are some very, very helpful people all over the place that want to help you learn how to build.
And I just want to do a side note. We've been mentioning community helpers a lot today, and I just want to make a note that for those, we talk about this at 101 all the time, but for those of you who might be in the community and you are not able to distinguish colors. Lots of people can't, right? My dad, for instance, cannot distinguish between blue and green. So we call that colorblind, right? So remember, there's icons in the top left-hand corner of all your badges that help identify which badge that really is. So for a community helper, fittingly so, there's a heart. So make sure when you're looking for a community helper, if you can't tell the color is green, that you see that heart, okay? Now, the World Tour Showcase on Wednesdays continues to travel to new and exciting worlds and revisiting old ones, working with world builders to showcase their worlds and introduce world building concepts and techniques to the community. This event has been running since last summer and continues to educate and inspire and showcase the most amazing talent we have here in AltSpace VR. So don't miss it on Wednesdays, right after the AltSpace VR 101. And it's a great opportunity to literally be beside the person who created the world, to be with that world builder and ask them questions.
And I'm having a little audio here. So this week, they're visiting the new and past worlds from the amazing Earth Day Challenge that happened this week here in AltSpace VR. Did y'all go to that? How cool was that? So we're going to be revisiting these, and these worlds represent the imagination of our world builders to tackle social, economic, and climate change issues in a creative and fascinating way. If you're an educator or a student, you don't want to miss this. If you missed it last week, come with us on this journey, because we'll be going to all of the different worlds that were involved in this. And if you're interested in world building, please put this on your calendar, because it's the imagination that was unleashed during Earth Day is really, really incredible and inspiring.
And you know, this was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, right? How unusual that on the 50th anniversary, we would be living in the twilight zone, where the Earth is actually healing itself of the imprint of us, right? It's literally going through this healing process, and watching animals emerge from hiding and reclaiming the space that we took from them, right? It's just crazy. So make sure you check out those Earth Day worlds. Now moving on to events. That's always an area that excites me. As always, there are plenty of events to be found here in AltSpace, opportunities to learn, be entertained, not to be alone at a time of isolation for so many. And if you can't find something to do, make your own event and invite people, or just hang out with you, watch videos, play games, share knowledge and expertise on any subject of your choosing. We love the variety and the diversity here. There are so many events here. We are just highlighting a few of them, and we only have the opportunity each week to highlight a few. So make sure you take time to go through that events calendar, find events that interest you, make sure to mark them interested. You'll get that email from AltSpace VR 1 hour before to remind you that there was an event in AltSpace, right, that you wanted to go to, because we forget. I forget all the time. And you guys, make sure to go back to the calendar all the time. Some people, some organizations, individuals, they put their events in the calendar long time in advance. So when you scroll, you'll find lots. Other ones are just spur of the moment. So they might only give you 24 or 48 hours. So make sure you go to revisit that calendar a lot.
Absolutely. Now, Andy Fidel of Get Social, her events, she has so many events every week here in AltSpace. It's hard to list them all because there's so many of them, but tomorrow is VR Community Workshop. This is an open discussion on VR digital citizenship, behaviors, and social VR. It's looking at the etiquette. And it's a great topic that we should all be exploring. So do check those out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Honey Bear is hosting a dodgeball game. This is so interesting to me. I don't know how many of you guys, this maybe dates me, but dodgeball was huge. When I was a kid, we played it all the time. Yep. Now, this game has no rules. It's happening tomorrow. It's a fun opportunity to hang out and play a game in AltSpace VR. Pick a side, and attack is what they recommend.
I just want to go and watch. Now, we love promoting we have a little slide snafu here. There it is. Non-English. Oh, no, I was the one who was off track. All right, let me start over. See, we almost made it clean again. Okay, so Daisy Shaw has been hosting a regular UK meetup here in AltSpace VR, and there's another one that is tomorrow. And we have a new one for Australia and New Zealand coming on Wednesday. Yeah, we love it when regional or national groups get together. So check those out. Daisy, thank you for inspiring those and create your own event. We've actually had people learn that they're living literally down the street from each other, and yet they've been friends in AltSpace for months, maybe even years. God, I just love it. So Daisy, thank you for inspiring those. And now we have Australia and New Zealand is meeting up. Love it.
That's awesome. Now, we also love promoting non-English events, and Educators in VR is helping Silicon Hagen launch their educational meetups in AltSpace happening on Monday. The event will be in Danish and in English. Silicon Hagen supports students, employees, and whole organizations to provide conversations, support, and access to new technologies in education as schools adapt and expand to embrace spatial technologies. Denmark was one of the first countries to come out of isolation. We have so much to learn from them about how schools are handling the new situation we are in, that new normal, right? And an opportunity to learn how Denmark is leading education in technology. They will be meeting regularly here in AltSpace VR, so watch the calendar for these events, an incredible opportunity to learn from the experience of others.
Love that. Now we have many personal and self-development events that are coming here and filling up the AltSpace VR events calendar. And what a great opportunity to take advantage of these. The Clarity Hour is fairly new, and it's a personal development session to discuss personal goals, productivity, and success. And it's Monday right here in AltSpace.
Now, she has to give me one word every week that I have no idea what it means. So here it goes for this week.
The username. Somebody's name.
Pamplemousse.
Yay!
I see. Pamplemousse. Okay, there you go. Don't you look at people's usernames and wouldn't you die to know the story behind the name? Right? Like some of the names, people just came up with letters. Other ones, there's fun stories. And that's a great conversation starter, people. Ask them where that came from. Anyways, Pamplemousse hosts a variety of events here in AltSpace VR. And a new one is called Job Talk. If you are looking for a new job because you hate your current job, or maybe you need a change in your career, check out Job Talk. Happens on Mondays.
Yeah. Now, Shiny continues her amazing events that deal with mental health issues and related topics, including Tuesday's isolation relief event to avoid isolation madness. Be sure to arrive on time as the doors will close early to ensure those who are there want to be there and focused on topic and feeling safe and secure.
Another popular one is Evolve VR. They continue to offer spiritual learning opportunities and conversations in addition to meditation events. Check out their events throughout the week discussing isolation, death, just talking about whatever is on your mind. No religious preference required. These are wonderful. Talking is therapeutic, people. That's one of the things about, the water coolers that we all have at our office. That is therapy for us, right? Non-therapy. And we miss the water coolers.
Did I still have those? I love it. So as we scan across all these events, we want to remind you that the second ever Creative Writing Reading event is this Friday. It's an opportunity for writers, authors, poets, and short story writers, anyone who does creative writing, to bring their own original writing to share and read. So come bring something you've written to read, or just come to enjoy all the amazing creative talent and the writing that is here in AltSpace VR this Friday, as well as all the creative experiences, all the classes, all the workshops, programs and everything, even conferences that are going on right now here in Allspace every day. No chance for boring.
And you guys, there really is.
All right,
so many.
Donna.
And I check the events calendar every day. And if you guys, in your headset, like it works, but I really recommend you go to allvr.com. Click on either featured events or click on all, because there's a lot of people that choose not to feature their events for a variety of reasons. But just scroll down, you can see way more on the website. You can still mark interested, so you still get that email. But there is so many new, different kinds of events, so many creative ideas for events. So make sure you go through what's happening. Now, every week we like to have a discussion, and we try and put some thought into what you guys might like to talk about, what we'd like to maybe hear about. And not to plug it or anything, but 6 out of the 7 days a week, I host a Live Loved event. And every single one of them, the conversation inadvertently comes round to pandemic conversation. And we talk about it from so many different angles. There's so much fear. There's so much misinformation. There's so many people seeking answers. There's so many people experiencing death and experiencing illness in their families, in their work communities. There's just so much that we really need to talk about. We've already talked about the fact that it's very therapeutic to talk about it. And if you have the same conversation every day for 15 days in a row, it doesn't matter. It's therapeutic to just talk about it, especially when we're in our isolated in our homes. That it's wonderful that we have the opportunity to come in VR, and we've talked about that before, like how wonderful it is to come in here and be able to share experiences, and we don't have to show social distance. We don't have to do the 6 feet. We hear people coughing, and we don't know if they covered their mouth or not, but we're not going to get sick, right? So there's all these things inside of VR. But I think that with all of the heaviness, and I don't know about you guys, but this was the week. I'm so glad it's Saturday. This was the week that the heaviness of this pandemic hit me. And we all experience all these different emotions, right? And this was the week where we've talked about this before. I'm an introvert. This self-isolation is my life. I almost always am in my house 6 days out of the 7 a week. This is not new for me, and it's not hard. I'll be honest, that part isn't hard for me because it's how I live. What hit me this week is the heaviness of our normal is not normal anymore. Our normal may never be what we experienced when we were a kid. Our normal may not be what it was like in January. We're going to evolve, and we're going to go through ups and downs with this pandemic. They're again talking about things, reoccurring in, even things are getting better now, reoccurring in fall. Our normal, we don't know what it looks like, but it is not going to be what we started 2020 with, right? It's going to be different. And the heaviness of that hit me this week. And there's a grieving process, right? We lose things. I feel bad every time somebody on Facebook has a birthday. I think, oh my gosh, you have to have a birthday in self-isolation. You turn 13, you turn 16, you turn 50. Those milestone birthdays now, you don't get to celebrate. I know personally people that have passed away, some of them not even from the pandemic, and they can't have funerals. One of my parents' friends died, and only 10 people could be at the funeral. And the woman lived a long life. She had a huge community of people, probably 200 to 300 people would be at her funeral, and there was 10 only invited, and the rest are a memorial sometime, right? Who knows when that's going to be? You guys, we're all going through this together. So one of the things that we've been at the groups that I've been with is we've been picking something to focus on, and it's kind of a list. So this last week we talked a bit about what are the blessings in disguise. Let's lift some of the heaviness because we feel it. What are some of the things that we're experiencing that are actually blessings? And it's not bad to feel good. Okay, so there's a couple of sayings. It's okay to not be okay. And I think we need to tell ourselves and each other that all the time. It is okay to not be okay. But on the flip side, it's also okay to be happy. There's things that are happening. I just saw the most amazing thing. A wedding. It was a picture of a wedding, and the wedding went ahead. Like, what do you do with a wedding now? Like, do you just postpone it for the next year? What do you do? This couple decided to get married, and what they did is they took a picture of a photograph of every one of their guests, and they put it on the chair. So we have to endure not endure. We have to allow ourselves to experience happy things, even though there's so much sadness. So one of the questions was, and we'd like to put it out to you guys today, is what are the blessings in disguise from coronavirus? What things, and this is critical for me, it's not just what's good during this time, but what are the good things that we're experiencing that whenever we have a new normal, we want to include that in our new normal, right? It's giving us all sorts of time to evaluate, way too much time with our thoughts, right? Oh my gosh, that's a scary thing, to be too much alone with your own thoughts. But
right.
What kinds of things? So go ahead.
Okay, so Joseph, you're on. What are the blessings for you? Oops, did we lose you? Okay. Anyone who would hit that raise hand button, and hello to everybody in room 2. We're glad you're here. All right. So hit the raise hand button if you would like to answer the question. So Daisy, you're on.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello there.
So what are you finding as blessings in all of this?
Well, this is a general comment about the blessings that I have seen, and I hope will continue. That I think everybody is starting to become a little less selfish, and everybody is developing a bit more empathy for everybody else who's in this awful situation. And it's making me feel as if, like communities are coming together as a whole again, where everybody's got so disjointed with their lives and their busy jobs and material things. I think everybody's starting to, pull together and think, realize what's important in life. That's what I've noticed, and I hope it'll continue.
That's Daisy. Now I'm going to just Buddy. Okay, on air. Okay, go ahead, Buddy. What's your comment?
I mean, even though this coronavirus epidemic is bad, I mean, VR has still led us with friendships on here. We don't have to go outside anymore, but we can just stay inside with new people. I mean, I miss my friends also, but I told my friends about Altspace now, and my good friend right here, sitting right next to me, he just joined, and now we can actually talk together.
That's incredible. I love that, Buddy. Yes. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm so pissed because my mother wants to get in Altspace so desperately, and I would love, she's over 80 years old, and I would so love to not only show her all these beautiful worlds and everything, but be able to connect with her other than on the phone or through messages. And she's got a Mac, and it's just devastating for me. So I hate that. But good for you. Good for you. I love it. Okay. Oops. Are they Sansky? Are you Sanique? Misty Phantom? Are you here? So Sanique should, I don't know the rest of it. Nope, I guess not. Okay. All right, Ancient, I won't say, one of our dear friends. Yes. What are your blessings?
I'd like to amend to Daisy's comments. Yeah, it works both way, and with that I mean people are showing the true face, like even rather it's more obvious what the true face is. good people are more altruistic, and it's easier to see that, and you'd really see the selfish people coming out of the holes as well. Like you see the photos on the web. For example, I've seen one photo with someone holding up a banner saying my body, my choice, and ostentatively not wearing a mask. It's the mask is not for you, but for everyone else. It is not for protecting you, or less so, but it is for protecting the people around you, and not thinking of that, and not thinking about this. That's really showing what people truly are.
Well said. Well said. Beautiful. Love that. If anyone else, all right, so we're going to try again. Sanix Hydrox, Misty Phantom, you're on. Anyone hear that person? Okay. Must be a microphone issue or something that's going on. Oops. And Joseph, do you wanted to say something else? Or say something? Joseph? Nope. All right. Anyone else want to add? So while we're waiting for anybody else who wants to raise their hand, a friend of mine on Friday was fired from her job of 35 years and told that she works for the city, and she was told that the office that she's been working at, the department, it will not open until January, maybe even next June. So she'll have to reapply and lose all seniority if she wants her job back. And she has enough for about maybe 6 months, and then she's going to have to sell her family home that's been in 3 generations. Now, that's pretty damn devastating. I mean, if you just threw cancer into the wings, I think that would be about as worse as it could get in some respects. I'm not comparing, but anyway, she's just devastated. And after a day of crying, we talked, and she said, at 67 years old, I could start over. That's how I'm going to choose to look at this.
Wow.
I can do all the things that my job has been holding me back from doing, that my lifestyle has been holding me back. I can travel wherever I want. I can do whatever, but I can get myself out of debt by selling the house, and I can just see what the next door is, what the next window is. And then she said, in her way of doing, and trust me, I'm not going to jump out of the window. And I said, okay, when the window's open, just don't jump out. She goes, no, but I'm going to fly out. I'm going to see what's there. And boy, I mean, that would just crush some people. But she pulled up her boots and she said, no, I'm not going to let this kill me. I'm going to see what's next, and I'm going to be open to it. And she says, I've got 60 years of crying to do, and then for the next month or two before I have to make some serious decisions to deal with the grief and loss. But she says, I'm just going to look at this as a new door. And that's just amazing. I'm so awed by that. Absolutely awed by that. Jesus.
That's right. We get.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead,
No,
Donna.
that's okay.
And then Jesus is on. Okay.
I just wanted to say that we don't get to pick our circumstances, but our response to them, it's us 100%, right? I love that story.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Jesus, you're on air. Jesus Gould? Jesus Guild. Jesus, sorry. Hi, you're on. What do you want to say?
No.
Oh, did you want to say anything?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyone else, you can hit the raise hand button if you want to add something. We have just a couple more minutes left. Okay.
While we're waiting for another comment, one thing that I just wanted to say is one thing that I hope stays is from a church perspective. For a lot of years, churches have begged people to come to their brick and mortar. They do everything they can to beg people to come into their space. They very often do not go out. And now what they've had to do is, in order to reach their audience, they've had to go out. So Facebook, Zoom, live stream, there's all these different things. And I hope which means that people who couldn't, because of mobility issues or lots of other issues, who haven't been able to attend a church service, now all of a sudden are embraced by the community. And I hope that we're going to go back to a brick and mortar. Brick and mortar is important, but so is keeping some of the other, right? So that's one thing I really hope stays.
I love it. Andreas, something you want to say?
Yes, I would just like to share a little story. I am from Denmark, together with Johan, my friend here. We are journalists at a Danish newspaper called Politiken. And or like 3 weeks ago, when our prime minister shut our country down, I was also in a quarantine together with my roommates, because one of my roommate had some symptoms, so we had to stay inside for 2 weeks. And I'm working as a photojournalist on the newspaper. And the only thing I could do, because I was inside, and normally I document the outside world, the only thing I could do was to document and make portraits of all of my neighbors. So I went outside on my balcony, and then I borrowed this very long zoom lens, which almost looks like something you can see the stars with. Mm-hmm. And then I went into this website where you can look up addresses and find people's numbers.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting in contact with 20 of my neighbors whom I could see from the balcony, and got in contact, made portraits of them at the nights, and I've only lived in my apartment for 3 weeks, or no, 3 months.
Oh my gosh!
3 months?
Yeah, and
my goodness.
already know all of my neighbors and all the
I love it.
persons I can see. Yeah, so that's really been a wonderful opportunity.
I love
Also because
it.
That
when you approach people, normally you don't have anything in common, but right now we are in the same booth, all of us, so we feel more connected, all of my neighbors, suddenly.
that is so
And that is
innovative.
sort of-
I love that.
I love it. So two things. First of all, I don't know what kind of permissions you have for showing any of those images, but hopefully you've gotten permission. Would awesome to do a presentation and a slideshow here in Altspace and talk about what you did. That would be so amazing an event to share that information. Just wouldn't you love to see those pictures and hear the background story? I think that is beautiful. I'd love to have that. Also, you're in luck. We have the Siliconhagen meetup is coming up, talking about education in Denmark. It'll be in Danish and English coming up on Monday, so check that out. So you can have an event in your language as well.
Yes,
That
that's
is
right.
awesome.
Actually, the reason that we are here in Altspace is for our next story. We rented some Oculus Quest for a week, and we have them until Monday. And then we have went around in here, it's 1 o'clock in the night in Denmark right now, because we have to stay up to get to all of these events. But we are walking around here and talking to people, and talking and getting an insight on their situation in the home countries, and see how that we can get our social needs fulfilled in this world. For example, I just went to a LGBT party with Johan, where I was holding a beer in my hand next to my controller, and literally drinking a beer while I had poked at a beer at the bar, and it felt so much like I was in a bar. It was such a nice experience.
I see so many people posting that they miss their local pubs. I've seen so many of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
So,
it. I love
so
it.
that's really been
awesome.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to get the LGBT community to share that kit so everybody can drink their favorite whatever it is in the different events. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, fantastic. All right, so we have two more really, one more after this. Thank you so much, Andreas, and welcome. Oh, this is so cool. All right, Saniske Hydrox something, Misty, Phantom, we're going to again, okay. So, okay. All right, I want to thank everyone for their comments. You have something you want to add more, Donna, and then we roll out?
I just want to thank you. I think that it's really important, both on the positive side and the negative side, that we talk about what we feel. And I think the more we talk about the positive things, we can lift our spirits even as isolation continues.
Yeah, I vote for that. Just remember, in VR, you're never alone here in AltSpace. So that's all for this week's news and updates. Remember, the conversation doesn't stop here in AltSpace VR. Discord is our home base for our community and our discussions outside of AltSpace, and we invite you to join the news and updates Discord to keep up with the news and activities here and around the VR industry.
And we will live stream the news onto YouTube every week. And you can catch up with past episodes to learn more about how AltSpace VR works and what's going on in the community. We've also added the AltSpace VR announcements feed to our news and updates Discord server, so you don't want to miss anything when it happens in AltSpace. And oh, sorry, that was just meant to be a breath. Sorry.
And we are here to keep you updated on the news in AltSpace, so please tell a friend. Share our Discord and YouTube channels so others can keep up with the news in and all around AltSpace.
And we've talked about volunteering today, you guys, and so if you'd like to volunteer to help us out, we would love it. We do this for you, but we also need your help. We need people to help us film and live stream the news. We need people to supply us with photos and news about the events and activities around AltSpace VR. We need writers, editors, moderators, and backup hosts. So if you'd like to help us out, let us know on our Discord server or after the show.
All right, we will stick around after the news to answer your questions and talk about what we're doing here in AltSpace. So stick around, as we'd love to chat with you, and thank you to all of our amazing news and updates volunteers, moderators, and help us make this event a success. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And in these uncertain times, please be safe wherever you are in the world. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Woo!
Emotions, everyone. I want a picture. Emotions. Keep going with the emojis. I want a picture.
Yay!
Okay, there we go.